Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When you are insecure, what do? You start threatening, going to the gym, showing your muscles, showing from something. You start, expressing yourself in a way that is threatening to others, trying to influence others. So the United States of America, in the past 4 years, has been losing militarily and I would say economically on the global stage. Therefore, it has to flex its muscles. It couldn't beat the Houthis, it couldn't beat Iran, it couldn't beat the Russians. Now they're going to try to get on or take on Venezuela. And because they can't beat the big guys, Donald Trump ordered, in violation of a moratorium, to start using starting testing nuclear weapons. This is what he does. So he says, you know what? We're losing something here. We need to flex our muscles. So in the violation of the moratorium, Trump instructs Pentagon to immediately start testing US nuclear weapons. I think this is idiotic, but we're going to discuss this in this video together with the Russia's response to this violation. Then Russia explains that its tests of Burevestnik and Poseidon missiles, they are not nuclear. These are means to use nuclear weapons. They are just, platforms of using nuclear weapons. They are not nuclear weapons tests. But Trump doesn't give a shit because, we have to do it. We were under attack again. Then we have Serbia, and Serbia tells the Americans, back the f off. Why? I will tell you. Then Slovakia says, we will give zero money to the Ukraine military, according to Robert Fico from Slovakia. And then, do you remember those attacks on two oil refineries, one in Hungary, one in Romania? Who did it? Well, Mr. Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, comes and says, external factors. Who do you think those guys were? I thought it was the Ukrainians, but Mr. Orban points the finger north of Hungary. Do you know who's north? No, I'm not talking about Slovakia, a little bit north than Slovakia, which is Poland. All right, and then he says external attack could explain blasts at Hungarian refinery using Russian crude. And I will show you also the map where that refinery was attacked. Putin orders Russian Ministry of Defense to allow foreign journalists into blockade Frontline access. And why? He's gonna show even the lowest strata segment of the Western public that their free media have been lying, are lying, and will be lying to them. Which is Pokrovsk is surrounded, encircled. Ukrainians are trapped over there, and the same thing in Kupiansk. If you remember 2 days ago, General Gerasimov briefed Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, telling him we encircled Kupiansk, the Ukrainian troops in Kupiansk and in Pokrovsk, Krasnoarmeysk. Is that Krasnoarmeysk or that was Bakhmut? Let me make sure. I don't want to talk shit here. No, Krasnoarmeysk. Okay, Pokrovsk. And the media said, and the Ukrainians know that's a lie, the Russians are lying. And the Russians are doing exactly what the Germans did at Katyn Forest. Remember Katyn Forest? With the Poles, the Soviet commissars, remember the Bazaar people, the commissars, they killed the Polish intelligentsia. About 15,000 of military officers, clerics, professors, teachers, intelligentsia, so they can push their own garbage. And then after the Wehrmacht pushed the Soviets, the communists, back, they found out Katyn Forest, mass graves, and they invited Red Cross and international media to show them that this is what the Soviets did, the commissars, poof. And until 1991, after the Soviet Union's archives were open to the public, the West knowingly lied, saying it was the Germans who committed the Katyn Forest massacre, not the Bazaar people in Soviet Union. So the same Putin does here, says, stop, stoy, we invite you all, come over, we allow you free passage into Krasnoarmeysk or Pokrovsk and in Kupiansk to see those Ukrainians encircled. hoping that he exposes the West's lies, the media and their politicians. This is the bad guy, Putin. Russian military offers safe passage for foreign media to visit encircled Ukrainian troops. Bravo! But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be quiet on the Western Front. Why? For obvious reasons. Or they're going to give the right spin. So let's see what Trump does. Because when you're strong, you have to display your strength. Which is the worst way. To always show that how good you think you are and show everybody to back off. That shows insecurity. When you enter a room, if you need to show, hey, that means you have a problem of image. You're afraid. You know that you cannot impress people just through your presence. Right? So this is what the Americans are doing right now after they got their butt kicked in with the Houthis, with Iran, with the Russians in Ukraine, and now they're going to have another one in Venezuela. They're going to destroy Venezuela because we're strong, but we fight only with little countries. We tried Russia and Russia smacked us over the beak again. So let's see what Trump does. Trump orders nuclear weapons test. The US president has said he was left with no choice in light of Russian and Chinese arsenals. Have you noticed that the bully boy is always attacked by the little fish? Like in your school, when you went to school, the bully boy, maybe it was you, who knows, you were always challenged by weak guys. Nobody challenged you, they all ran away from you. But the bully boy was left with no choice but grab them from running and beat them up and get their lunch box. Or I don't know, whatever they owned. Is this normal? Is this reality to you? We had no choice. We had many choices, but you picked this one because you liked it. And it was not a choice. You imposed it. You wanted to do it. Why? Because you're too strong. The US President Donald Trump has ordered the Pentagon to resume nuclear weapons testing, citing strategic competition with Russia and China. The United States, and I'm quoting, has more nuclear weapons than any other country. Did you know that? That's what he says. He must tell the truth. The tool. He's the tool. All right? This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons. I think that's a lie. It's a lie. During my first term in office, so he claims that in 4 years, he did something that they are incapable of doing right now. They don't have Patriot systems to send to anybody, but in 4 years, they built the greatest arsenal. I thought the Russians have the greatest arsenal of nuclear warheads. And even if they don't, I think the Russians, last time I checked, was about 7,400 nuclear warheads. I think the Americans had about 3,400 or something, and so on. Doesn't really matter. Why? Beyond about 200 nuclear weapons, warheads, strong ones, you don't need anymore. Why would you need any more? I tell you why you don't need more than 200. Maybe you don't need more than 10. Maybe more than 10, let's say 50. Why? You create the, how is that called, the doomsday? Which is if you're attacked and you're losing, you tell the other guys, you blackmail them. You threaten them, you say, you know what guys, I will detonate all my nuclear arsenal on my own territory, and that's gonna send you to Moses, to your masters. You will all die, so stop. That's the end of the game here, all right? So you can have 7,000 warheads, nuclear warheads. You can have 100,000. You can have trillions of nuclear warheads. It does not matter. You just show your balls without sperm. That's how you show. Oh, I have these many balls. They produce anything? It's useless. It's useless to own them. They're gonna, impede your walking. So let's see what's next. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but I had no choice. Russia is second, and China is a distant third. But where is Israel? Israel is first because they own you, Trump, but will be even within 5 years because of other countries' testing programs. I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on equal basis. The process will begin immediately. The US halted nuclear tests in 1992 under a Congress-mandated moratorium. Members of the Trump's cabinet reportedly discussed reversing the moratorium during his first term after the US accused China and Russia of secretly conducting an underground low-yield nuclear test, a claim Beijing and Moscow denied. According to a recent estimate by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, the US has 5,000. Russia has 5,400. Anyway, but we have the biggest. So US has 5,177 nuclear warheads, Russia has 5,459, and China is projected to reach 1,500 by 2035. It doesn't really matter. I think it was 7,400 last time I checked. But nevertheless, 5,000. You don't need 5,000, goddammit. Alright, so what do we have here? The US test fired an unarmed, nuclear-capable Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile in February and launched 4 Trident II missiles from a submarine in September. Earlier this month, Russia test-fired its nuclear-capable Burevestnik cruise missile powered by a small nuclear reactor that gives it a virtually unlimited range. So not a nuclear explosion, it was an engine, nuclear reactor. Trump instructs Pentagon to immediately start testing U.S. nuclear weapons. There you have. And the Kremlin vows response if U.S. violates nuclear moratorium. The U.S. leader did this, boo, boo, boo. And what happened? Let's see what Peskov has to say. When asked about the issue by journalists later in the day, Peskov noted, Peskov is a spokesman of the Kremlin. The statement by Russian President Vladimir Putin, which has been repeated many times, that, of course, if someone abandons the moratorium on nuclear testing, then Russia will act accordingly. The US is a sovereign country and has every right to make sovereign decisions. Now, that's why I like these guys. They don't impose on these guys. Say, well, you're going to do that, we have to react somehow on our turf. And I'm quoting. If it is about Burevestnik, then it is not a nuclear test, Peskov said. All nations are developing their defense systems, but this is not a nuclear test. The Burevestnik is the new Russian state-of-the-art nuclear-capable cruise missile powered by a small nuclear reactor that gives it virtually unlimited range. You got it? So that's what it is. Russia has tested a nuclear weapon during the Soviet period in 1990. The US halted its testing in 1992 under a Congress-mandated moratorium. And again, they gave us the same number here. Next, Kremlin. Burevestnik test was not non-nuclear. So what are you talking about, Trump? And again, he says the same thing, is non-nuclear. And let's go to Serbia. What's going on here, man? Before we go to Serbia. Trump just flexes his muscles. He is a bluffer. Unfortunately, he got caught with his pants down with a big flashlight on 2 occasions. The first one, Ukraine and Iran and Houthis. Oh my God, there's more than one. And then economically, financially against China. He couldn't beat them. So what did he do? Oh, you're my friend. I'm going to meet you now. You didn't meet these guys. Trump did not meet Xi Jinping and Putin. By the way, I made a video today about Xi Jinping and Trump meeting. He didn't meet Xi Jinping because he ordered Xi Jinping. He needed Xi Jinping. He wanted to meet with him. The same with Putin. He didn't meet Putin because he ordered Putin. He wanted to meet. He knew that without talking with the other guy, he can't do squat. The problem is, Trump is a tool. So when the guys behind him, on top of him, tell him to do something, that's when he's going to do it. So let's go to Serbia. Serbia tells the Americans back the fuck off, which I like. Russia Today. Serbia urges United States to back off over Russian-owned refinery. Washington earlier triggered restrictions on NIS, the Balkan country's sole oil refinery, sparking fears of national energy crisis. Remember what Peskov said? The United States of America is a sovereign country, can make its own decisions. Not here. The Americans are not rolling like that. Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić has appealed to the US for more time to address issues surrounding the nation's only oil refinery, which is majority owned by Russian energy giant Gazprom. Earlier this month, the White House activated restrictions targeting NIS, petroleum industry of Serbia. The move prompted neighboring Croatia to suspend crude oil deliveries and raised the risk of a shutdown of the refinery. And I'm quoting Vučić, I hope the US won't start secondary sanctions, at least until mid-December, he told Bloomberg. NIS is a leading Balkan energy company with a refinery in Pančevo near Belgrade and a regional network of over 400 petrol stations. Gazprom Neft is the largest shareholder with 44.85%, while Gazprom holds 11.3% and the Serbian state owns 29.87%. So where is this? Near Belgrade, Pančevo. Let me show you where Belgrade is. This is Europe. This is Serbia right here. So we're going to go to Serbia, right? Right here. Belgrade is exactly here. All right, here is in Pančevo is exactly here. So this is the company where that is located. And you can see it right here. See how easy we can find shit? All right, here it is. This is where the refinery is. And with all the additions, whatever they are. Here is the refinery. Good for you. Now that's not going to work anymore. Next one. EU member vows not to pay a single cent for Ukraine's military. Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico has refused to fund Kiev's war effort after a proposal for a reparation loan stalled. Slovakia will not allocate any money towards military aid for Ukraine. Good for you. Prime Minister Fico said on Wednesday, following the EU's failure to agree on a proposed reparations loan backed by immobilized Russian assets. The EU plan aimed to raise around 140 billion euros, which is $160 billion, by using Russian sovereign funds held in Belgium, and that failed. I will not sign any guarantees for financing Ukraine's military spending in 2026 and 2027. Fico said during a cabinet meeting. Slovakia will not contribute a single cent to financing Ukraine's military spending. Bravo! This is a sovereign country, or you can say is owned by Russia. Each country has its own interests. And if a country is really sovereign and independent, it's free to pursue its own economic and whatever interest it has. Slovakia thinks it's not feasible at this point to get rid of the Russian cheap resources and finance Ukraine to fight the guys that provide them with energy. Why would they do that? Pressure is done by the democracies in the world instead of saying Slovakia is a free country. What did Peskov said? Let me see. What did he say? He said that, where I'm going to find here, because I like the way he said it. All right. It says, the U.S., let me pull that up for you. All right. Peskov said, right? As soon as this cooperates. And I'm quoting, the United States is a sovereign country and has every right to make sovereign decisions. Well, I want that to be shown to Slovakia as well by the Americans. They won't, because that's how the club functions. You want to be part of the club? You're going to be ordered what to do. You're going to be smacked around and you're going to be abused and used and whenever the owner, the master wants. And there you go, my friends. The freedom and democracy and the rules-based world order imposed by Al Capone. Let's go to Hungary. According to Sputnik, Orban said, external factor, singular, might be behind MOL refinery fire. Hungarian Prime Minister Orban said on Thursday that the investigation into the fire at the MOL refinery in Zazalombata was underway, not ruling out that the incident was caused by external factor. What if they find out that it was the Americans, or the Poles, or the Ukrainians? What do you think will happen? Will there be a war? Should be. And I'm quoting, last evening I heard the Interior Minister's report on the incident at the Zazalombata oil refinery. The investigation is in full swing. We do not yet know what caused it, an accident, a malfunction, or an external attack, he said. The MOL refinery, located about 30 kilometers south of Budapest, I will show you, on the banks of the Danube River, is one of Hungary's 5 most strategic industrial facilities and operates primarily on Russian crude. The refinery supplies fuel to several Central European countries, including Slovakia. Hello. Okay. A major fire broke out at the site on the night of October 21st, leading to a reduction in production. All right. Orban noted that Poland's foreign minister, that is the MI6 agent Mr. Wiesław Sikorski, had earlier suggested that Ukraine should target the Druzhba oil pipeline, adding, and I'm quoting, "Let's hope that doesn't happen." He also said gasoline prices had already risen following the incident and instructed Economy Minister Marton Nog to meet with MOL executive. All right, the cause of the blaze remains under investigation. But that's not it. Let me show you. External attack could explain blasts at Hungarian refinery using Russian crude. Again, this is what it is. So what happened here? An external attack might have been the cause of an explosion at Hungary's largest oil refinery last week, Prime Minister said. And what they say? We do not know yet whom. All right. The Polish Foreign Minister advised Ukrainians to blow up the Druzhba oil pipeline. Let's hope this isn't the case, he added. So, where is it located? Zuba, 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 zuba. Let's go and find Hungary now, right? And it's very easy. Here is Hungary. This is Budapest. In the world, this is Europe. This is Hungary. These are baboons in Romania. Okay, this is Serbia. So we're going to go to Budapest on the banks. Oh, it's right here. In this area somewhere. I know I found it last time. I'm going to find it this time. It's south of Budapest. This is the Danube River. And we're going to go down, down, down. And here, voila. Here is where it's Zazolozomba. This is the bank of the Danube River. And here is the refinery. Big, big mofo, don't you think? It is right there. So, someone attacked this one. Who would attack it? It's a big one right there. This is a beautiful E73, European Road 73 freeway. Next to it, you can go with a little truck and then you have here the Danube River. Got it? So this is it, south of Budapest. Who did it? If the Poles, which are right here, did it over Slovakia, inside here, or maybe the Ukrainians, but I don't think the Ukrainians will be so direct. After all, they have a Zelensky standing in charge. They're a little bit more sophisticated. You know what I mean? Not so, I mean, they are sophisticated at first. When they have full power, like in Soviet Union, they will be more primitive than anybody else. Why? They're goat herders. What do they know? Nothing. Just let's go. That's what they do. Next one. Let's go to the last topic of this video. Sputnik. Putin orders Russian Ministry of Defense to allow foreign journalists into blocked frontline areas. Yeah, go. All right. Here. The Russian defense minister has received an order from the President Vladimir Putin to ensure access for foreign journalists, including Ukrainian media, to visit areas near Krasnoarmeysk, Pokrovsk, Dimitrov and Kupiansk, where Ukrainian forces are encircled. All right, let's see where these guys, I don't know where Dimitrov is, but we're going to find it. I know where the other two are. All right, it's probably not going to be hard to find it, Dimitrov, but hey, let's go. This is Ukrainska, right? And we have Kupiansk. Kupiansk is in Kharkiv, Kharkov, right here. This is Kupiansk. Kupiansk is encircled according to the Russians. This is Kupiansk, right there. So they said, come over, Red Rover, we'll let you come over there. All right, and the other one, they said, is Krasnoarmeysk, right here. Oh, I'm sorry. Right here, Krasnoarmeysk, Dimitrov is next to it. Voila. Here's Dimitrov and Krasnoarmeysk, or if you want, and if you don't, I tell you, Pokrovsk. These two right here, plus the other one in the north, right there, are encircled. Got that? And if you don't believe me, and you shouldn't, I want you to verify, we're going to go to these guys, Deep State. These are the Ukrainians, okay? Let's do a little refresh and see if they're going to give us anything else. So we're going to go to these Ukrainians and go to Kupiansk. This is Kupiansk right there. Or what's left of it. Kupiansk. You see the Russians? Right there and right here. She said, come over, we're going to show you to you. And we're going to go to the other one, to Pokrovsk, which is right here. Pokrovsk, and the other one was whatever it was here, something. I can't remember the name. Where are you? Because I thought you're going to be like straight. Pokrovsk is here, Nikolaev. It was Nikolaev? What the hell was the name of that one? Dimitrov, Jesus Christ. Close. I was close. Dimitrov with Nikolaev. Great. Fucker. Right. Okay, Dimitrov. I don't see it here. Do you see it here? I'm on the right place, but the wrong time. You know that song? Anyway, I don't see it. Oh, it's already taken over or something? But clearly on this one right there. Dimitrov right there. Got it? So Krasnoyarsk, boof, boof, boof. That's where it is. We're going to go back there. All right, where is it? Pokrovsk is right here. I still don't see Dimitrov. Maybe it's already erased. Nevertheless, so this is what they're talking about. So what do you think? Russian military offers safe passage for foreign media to visit encircled Ukrainian troops. The possibility was floated by President Putin, who has issued a corresponding order to the military. Got it? Pokrovsk, Dmitrov, and Kupiansk. Remember the Azovstal? They also, Azovstal steel plant, they did the same thing, which is the guys in Kiev did not give a shit and they were encircled right here in Mariupol. Remember that? It was April, May 2022. This is Azovstal right here. And let me show you another map, which is right there. We're going to go to Azovstal. So we're going to go like this, Mariupol. And Azovstal was this plant right here. This is the Azovstal plant. Got it? Whatever remained is remained out of it. Blown the fuck up right there. What do you think those are? What do you think those are over there? Boom, boom, kaparum. What do you think those are? Unfortunately, I mean, this is shadows, probably from the pipes, as far as I can tell there. So here is the Azovstal, my friends. So the evil guy does the same thing as the Nazis did with the Western media. And the Western media did not give a shit. They kept the lie since, was it in 1941 when Barbarossa was ordered. Then these guys did what? They showed them in Poland, in Katyn. What happened? The media kept it shh, and the Western media portrayed the Nazis committing the Katyn forest massacres, not the commissars, because it would be politically incorrect to say Bernstein did it. Mr. You know what I mean? Mr. Most virtuous people the Hollywood tells us ever existed. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later.